Hi, what's your name?
Irena Benedict.
Has anyone told you look like an enlightened entrepreneur?
Thank you, that's a compliment and I appreciate it.
So how did you become one?
Well, enlightenment in my vision is something that you are in moments of time. And in my journey, I discovered that the more we can string those moments together, the more enlightened we become. I don't believe that we're enlightened all day, every day, all day long. But if we stop and think and search for answers, then we are enlightened.
So from a business point of view and in the business world, do you help people find these answers and how?
Yeah, so in the business world, what I do, I work with people to discover who they are, what's their purpose, because I feel that each of us has a purpose that is unique to us. So I work with people to discover who they are, what their life is about, what's their purpose, and then apply the business principles and bring that into the world.
So it's kind of customized to who they are, is what you're saying.
Yeah, like I have a lot of comments, people say it's not cookie cutter approach. Like they say my program is not a cookie cutter approach because I look at who they are.
So how do you help them find their life purpose? What tools do you use?
I have a series of questions that I ask them to go through, and one of the biggest questions is, what was the most difficult thing you had to deal with in your life?
That's a good question. And they find it?
Yeah, because we all have a story, as you know, and when we tap into that story, like what has been the most difficult thing in my life, then you discover what your passion is about, because whatever you had to deal with and was difficult, now you have a passion about it, and it makes sense that you were going to follow it.
So is it correct to say that the most challenging thing a person had to go through is also their gift?
Yes, correct. That's correct. Exactly.
Do you have any examples without mentioning names?
So, for example, like a client that has an autistic child, right? And she has to study and learn how this child functions. And that had became her purpose, like learning about how those children function, what they go through. So although for her was she had to give up work, it was a very difficult situation. Now she turned that into her business. She can be home with the autistic child, help other mothers with autistic children, and something that you will consider a tragedy is turning into her helping other people.
Oh, nice. So tell me more about you have an academy for entrepreneurs, and you enlighten them, obviously. What makes it different than the other types of, say, entrepreneur academies or entrepreneur schools? Obviously, you mentioned you first help find their purpose, then you customize it to them. Can you explain more about that?
Yeah, so it's very interesting the way you ask the question, because like there are a lot of business models, right? And I come from a business background. I used to be in corporate. I was the engineering manager in corporate. I grew the business from 1 million to 6. So 600% in 2 years, and I ran the department for 5 years. So I have a lot of business knowledge, but I have to tell you, I changed my career based on an angel reading.
Is that what these cards are?
Those cards are. And I've been told, like going to this angel reading, I've been told that I will be in some sort of training, some sort of different industry. And I said it's not possible, because I was in my industry, I was in nuclear engineering. I was 1 in 15 in my field. There was no possibility for me to be in any training. But as the science kept showing to me that that's my path, and I didn't want to listen, but then the voice went louder. And one day I did listen, and that's how I put myself into the coaching.
Well, how many years ago was that?
6 years ago.
Wow.
Full time. And I've been coaching before, but part time because I was still working. And actually, in my corporate career, I took all the coaching courses, like Coach for Success, Coach for Performance, because I had this calling that I didn't know that actually I'm going to switch.
So you took all these standard corporate coaching courses and seminars. However, you created your own way of coaching from a more enlightened or intuitive perspective.
Exactly, yeah. So I took like all the corporate coaching, which is like, it was like the Stephen Covey, like really solid, the solid principles of coaching. But then when because in my story, I was an abused child. So my difficult thing in life was coming from abuse to being a balanced adult. So when I was healing myself, when I was making myself be who I am, I used the coaching because I'm trained with Tony Robbins. So I used the coaching like the basic coaching, but I was also seeing an intuitive healer. So when I started to coach myself, I thought like I healed through coaching and intuitive, and now I'm just offering coaching. And then the intuitive part came more and more into my courses, into my teachings, even before I actually was trained in any intuitive healing. It just came to me.
So tell me more about your academy. What's involved? Somewhere to sign up into your Entrepreneur Enlightenment Academy, as you call it.
Yes.
What's the process and what's involved and how long is it?
So I will walk you through the process. So basically what the tagline is, thrive in business while following the purpose, because I believe if we start with the purpose, this is what we're going to bring us abundance. And I work with people that start with the purpose, not with I want to make money and this is a scheme. Then people work with me over 1 year time, and there is a possibility to go on year 2 and 3. But in a 1 year time, I have the Entrepreneur Enlightenment curriculum. And one of the basic one is how to become more authentic, empowered, and connected. That's like the personal transformation. And then on top of that, I add the business principles. And again, bringing love and spirituality, because when you are in your ego, it's hard to make sales. But when you are in an enlightened state where your ego doesn't get bruised, then it's easy to talk about what you do and make sales with love. Make sense?
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I combine the personal transformation with business and with love and spirituality. We also have like business management strategy days that we work on somebody's business. They're there, I ask them questions, I facilitate the day. And usually they go out with a lot of new ideas, new information.
So that's for someone who already knows what they're here to do, they got their business in place, but you provide ways to manage it better, to expand their business.
Exactly, because I work with people at all stages of business, and everybody works on their business. So when we do the business management strategies, and basically the academy is made of the curriculum, business days, then we have retreats, and I have one coming up in December, the Reinvent Your Business retreat, and also coaching and community, because I do Q&As every 2 weeks, and also the community is what's fantastic, because as entrepreneurs we're very lonely. I don't know if entrepreneurs usually are very lonely being home trying to do their thing, but when you come into a community and you see somebody else is doing a seminar, then you say, oh, maybe I can do it. So all of those we go through in a 1 year time.
So do you have any interesting testimonials for someone who just met you the first time, found their purpose, got into business, you're helping them manage it?
Yeah.
Any interesting testimonials?
Yes, I have one that is dear to my heart, because I met this woman and she's from the same country, back home, Romania, but she was in Canada, and she wanted to go back home and open a yoga center. I don't know if you heard of Romania. We came from communists, so a yoga center is not available in Romania. So when I met her in Toronto, she said this is an impossible dream to go back and open a studio, especially that her husband had a very good job in Canada. So she said he will never quit his job to come with me.
Wow.
And they are now having an open studio in Romania. And her husband is full in. He gave up corporate job to be with her in her dream. And that's what she called the impossible dream.
Wow, that is an interesting story. How long ago was that?
It was 2 years ago.
Wow.
2 years ago.
I heard of a story of a lady, student of yours, she had about $15,000 in debt, paid it off in 6 months.
Yes.
And that's because of your coaching.
Yes. So it's a little bit of the mindset, and I also work with the people. What happened with them in their childhood? Like this is another. So I bring basically 3 elements in: the business, the spirituality, and the personal transformation. So, like what happened to you in your childhood is usually dictates how you are behaving in this lifetime. And in this particular case, she didn't have supportive parents, this person. And because of not having that support, she felt that she has to do it all herself. But when we dug into the truth of who she is and that she's a magician, she's creating things, she discovered that yes, I am, and I'm not what my parents thought I am.
So how long did it take you to get that out of her system?
So
how many sessions?
Like 2 sessions.
And how long is a session?
It's 1 hour session. But I also want to say is she did the work. Like people have to do the work. I'm a facilitator, I'm a guide, but they are climbing the mountain. So she really was very serious and did the work.
Wow. So you're a woman who took a company from 1 million to 6 million in a couple of years, whatever. And now you're going in the coaching business to do the same, if not better. Mm-hmm. Anything else we need to know about this unique academy?
So
you've done it for 6 years.
I've done it for 6 years.
What's your biggest success story?
The biggest success story is probably our story. Like mine and my husband's story is my biggest success story because basically we changed our life. We both were in corporate. My husband wanted first to change career because his father was sick with cancer and he went to do herbal medicine. And then he wanted to move into the country. Like this is me at the labyrinth where we live in the country. And I'm not a country person, like I'm a people person. I wanted to be in a city, but I asked myself, why would I go and live in a country? And I discovered that I want to be there because I want to give something to people to come to. So we bought an 84-acre property near Collingwood. And we stuck with it, like we bought vacant land and we built our off-grid house. And as a woman, 5 years with no kitchen, you must know that I'm a really strong woman.
Yes, especially if you're used to the corporate world. Wow, what a radical change.
Yeah, so that's kind of the success story is, and we stuck with it, like living in a house that's being built and building a business at the same time. I don't advise my clients to do that.
Well, that's another course, emergency transition course.
Yes.
Okay, so for more information, to become more enlightened as an entrepreneur, what's your contact info?
So it's Entrepreneur Enlightenment Academy.com. And there is a ebook there, Your Purpose-Driven Business, A Path to Enlightenment and Abundance. It's a free ebook, yes. So it's entrepreneurenlightenmentacademy.com, and to get this ebook you get /purpose.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.